Hare Krishna! Thank you so much. I think you can do 10x on that Hare Krishna. After 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, just getting warmed up. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Are you happy to be here? Yes, we're all happy to be here. We're still waiting for more and more devotees to come here to Rise 2025. This year we have 530 devotees attending. And when I first came in this venue, I was like, I hope we don't wreck it. So it's really wonderful to see all of you. The opportunity to come together like this and really inspire each other. It's such a unique and valuable and powerful opportunity. This is really what Srila Prabhupada created ISKCON for, so that each one of us would have the opportunity to learn and grow in each other's association. Dhananjaya Prabhu, he talks about how on one fine day he received initiation from our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada gave him the name Dhananjaya, which means the winner of wealth. And Prabhupada told him, money is floating everywhere. You just have to learn the art of how to catch it. I still haven't learned that art. Yeah, I'm still learning. And the day after his initiation, he thought, my God, I got that name, the winner of wealth. So he came to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Srila Prabhupada, I heard in the Bhagavatam, there's a story of how there's a mountain made of gold. Prabhupada said, yes. And he said to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, do you know where it is? Prabhupada said, yes. And then he said, Prabhupada, can you tell me where it is? Prabhupada said, yes. But why do you want to know? And he said, Srila Prabhupada, I'll go there with my rucksack and I'll go with a chisel and I'll take some of that gold and then we'll use it to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And Srila Prabhupada said, rather than getting 30 or 40 kgs of gold, bring me back 30 or 40 devotees. Devotees are more valuable than gold. So each one of you are the gold, the wealth of this movement. And we're really happy that you gave us an opportunity. We all come together to serve each other. So we've got devotees here from all over the world, I should say. But first we want to invite and, welcome our senior devotees. We're really able to grow in our Krishna consciousness because of the sacrifice of Srila Prabhupada and the sacrifice of all his dedicated disciples who have given their lives in service to this glorious movement. So first we'd like to offer a garland to Her Grace Mother Vishaka, our temple president here at Bhaktivedanta Mana. She's really been a pillar of strength in such turbulent times, and she's just such a wonderful example. We're so blessed to have her company. And along with her, we're very, very fortunate that His Grace Yadubar Prabhu has also come to grace us. Is Yadubar Prabhu here? Oh, okay, yes, Yadubar Prabhu will also be participating, and we very warmly welcome both of them. And then we'd like to welcome His Grace Kripamoya Prabhu and Her Grace Mother Guru. They are our They are like the mother and the father of the UK Yatra, just been there for so many years, inspiring so many devotees. And this morning we were out on Harinam, and I think we shocked Nottingham. We had 200 devotees out there. And the highlight of it was Kripamoya Prabhu showed us 2 pillars, and he said, 50 years ago, right by these 2 pillars in Nottingham city centre, I met the Hare Krishnas for the first time. So we offer our heartfelt gratitude to the city of Nottingham for giving us Kripamoya Prabhu. And then we'd like to welcome 2 very special devotees who are tirelessly traveling around the world, inspiring devotees and really bringing life wherever they go. We'd like to welcome Her Grace Nirakula Mataji and His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu. They are so wonderful, and we're so blessed that they make time for the UK and everything we're trying to offer to Srila Prabhupada here. Your presence is so much appreciated. We also have with us a person who has incredible capacity, who does so much and who just looks so relaxed all the time. Someone who's carrying the weight of so many responsibilities but does it with such grace, with such joy and with such dynamism. We'd like to welcome His Grace Gauranga Prabhu. Thank you so much, Gauranga Prabhu, for coming. And then last but not least, we have one of the most dynamic preachers. We have someone who just electrifies the room when they walk in. You almost just feel like dancing just seeing him, you know. He's full of life, he's full of joy, he's full of humor, and he's full of Krishna consciousness. And I can say with some transcendental pride that he's also my friend. And we're so happy to have with us here today His Grace Patri Prabhu. Thank you so much. So please, dear devotees, and we also have many other seniors here, and we'd like to offer our respects to them, but my humble suggestion to you is stalk these devotees and get every moment you can to associate with them, learn from them, be inspired by them. That's the great opportunity that we have. We are going to go into our session. I'm just going to do a couple of things just to help us get to know each other better. Do you all know each other? No. Okay, I'm going to show you some statements, and if the statement for you is the one on the right, then I want you to stand up. And if the statement for you is the one on the left, I want you to stay sitting down. Is that okay? All right. Are you a rule breaker or are you a rule maker? Are you that person who makes the rules or are you that person who breaks the rules? All right, slowly, they're all coming up. All right, this one was for our volunteers, just to watch out for all the troublemakers in the room. All right, thank you very much. You can sit down. All right, what about this one? Vrindavan or Mayapur? Oh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Oh, wow, we have some. Okay. Oh, they're all Vrindavan Vasis. Okay, very good. Okay, take a seat, Very good. All right. This is a crucial one. Early mornings or late nights? Yeah, right. We'll see if you're at Mangalarti tomorrow. Yeah, right. Everyone's saying it now. Okay, sit down. Oh my God, this one is crucial. This one is crucial. In a transcendental argument between Radha and Krishna, are you for Radha or for Krishna? Oh, all Radharani. All Radharani. Okay. Yes, sit down. Eating or sleeping? getting a bit more practical now. Eating or sleeping, eating, okay. Okay, you know what the next one is, right? No. We're not going to go there. Reading or chanting? If you had spare time, reading or chanting? Oh, all holy names. Okay. Very good. All right. Oh, and this is... Oh yeah, this is important. Dal, rice, chapatis or pizza and pasta? Oh, all traditionalists. Okay, very good. Okay, sit down. And this is the last one. And this last one is really crucial. Ram Lakshman is here. He's got a camera. It's clear. We're off. Okay. This is a hard one, huh? Okay. Thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause. Here we go. So it's good to know about each other, because actually we're all a team and we're all diverse and we have different abilities, we have different personalities, we have different approaches to Krishna consciousness, but we're all a transcendental team meant to make a revolution in this world. Do you want to make a revolution? Yeah. When you come to Krishna consciousness, you could be a rebel. We are trying to do something amazing. And sometimes, day to day we're in the Krishna consciousness movement and we may not appreciate how amazing it is. But sometimes coming on a retreat like this, we just step away and we think and we realize I'm part of the most amazing movement in creation. That's basically what it is, and that's not an overstatement. And so I wanted to begin the retreat by just reflecting on this movement that we're part of, and on this movement that was so mercifully given to us by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So would you like to watch a short video just about the glory of this movement? All right. Is it possible to turn the lights down a little? If that's possible, or if not. All right. There we go. And the sound. The sound. Yep.
Prabhupada was told by an astrologer in Rutland, in West Bengal, that when he saw Prabhupada's face, a photo of Prabhupada, he said, this man, he has the ability to make a house in which the whole world can live peacefully. To make a house in which the whole world can live very peacefully. And when I told Prabhupada that, he said, yes, that is my mission. That within Krishna consciousness, the whole world can live peacefully.
I was born in a different family. My Guru Maharaj was born in a different family. Who knew that I will come to his protection? Who knew that I will come in America? Who knew that you American boy will come to me? These are all Krishna's talents. We cannot understand how things are getting set.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. So it's really a magical, mystical, incredibly powerful movement that we're all part of, and each one of us have the opportunity to rise in our own spiritual lives so we can take full advantage of what's being given, but we can also rise in terms of spreading this movement and making it known to as many people as possible, and this weekend is really all about that. So I'm going to skip this. We're just going to kind of move on with the program, and through the weekend we'll have different times for meditating and reflecting, but just so you know the rest of the program for today. So now we'll be having a session with His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, who will invite up in a second. And then the times have slightly changed. We'll go till 6:30 now, and then we'll have an hour for prasadam, and then we'll be congregating back here in the evening for kirtan. Last year at Rise we all danced like anything, so please come and please give your energy. And then at 9 o'clock, as you may have already seen, we have an incredible theatre here, and we have this incredible production of the Hare Krishna movie. How many of you have seen the movie? Okay, many of you. Just like we read Srila Prabhupada's books again and again, and we learn more and more, we can watch this movie again and again and really be touched. So there'll be an opportunity to do that in the theatre. And just so you know, this is a rough map of the retreat center that we have here. So currently we're in the banqueting suite. The conference theatre is just through there. And then you can imagine there's just like a rooms which kind of go around it. So I think all of you have this map with you. Just a few housekeeping rules. In this room, there's no shoes. In this room, there's no prasadam. In terms of your shoes, if you can just keep them in the corridors, just to the wall, as all of you have already been doing. And in your rooms where you are in the corridors, if you can just make sure after 10 o'clock that there's not so much noise, all of you who said late nights more than early mornings especially. Yeah, and as we go through the weekend, there'll be more announcements to make. I don't want to kind of kill you with all the announcements now. So I think we'll just continue on now to the next part of our program. And we'd like to welcome His Grace, Vaisesika Prabhu. I travel all around the world, and I have to say, ISKCON Silicon Valley, amongst all the amazing things that yatra does, they give the loudest and longest welcomes to the speakers. So today I think we can try and beat ISV by giving a massive round of applause and a huge Haribol for His Grace, Vaisesika Prabhu! Louder and longer!
Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande Haribol. Just several months ago, when Nirakula and I were traveling back from India, I think, we stopped in Hong Kong, and because we had a long layover, we went to the Sky Tram that leaves from Hong Kong, and it goes across the mountains of Hong Kong. And I had no idea where we were going to end up. I just wanted to see it, that is, Hong Kong from the sky. And as we went further, we noticed that we were coming to some sort of civilization. And there was a town, and then we could see the silhouette of the Buddha, a gigantic Buddha, up on a hillside. And when we got down from the tram, there was a way to walk a mile or so to get up close. And I had gone up the steps all the way, a couple hundred steps to get up to the top. And the gigantic form of the Buddha was there against the sky. And when I looked up into the sky, I could see the Buddha. And then on another side, I saw a jet flying across. And in the middle was the moon. And it struck me as I was walking down the steps that it represented something. And to me, it represented the advancement of science. How to make a jet to fly through the air is a conundrum to me, but somebody figured it out. People fly all the time now, and they can't stop. And I was thinking how many thousands and tens of thousands of people were coming up there regularly to see the Buddha. And I was thinking, what's he doing there? He's sitting. And on the other side was the jet flying frenetically through the sky, delivering people to business meetings or vacations where they'll move about vigorously. And I thought, well, what's so famous about the Buddha? He's just sitting there. And it dawned on me that there's a way in which people moving about the world, seeing things, touching things, smelling things, trying to create new things, never take a chance, or an opportunity, I should say, to sit and see what's inside. And they miss the opportunity of life that's afforded to all human beings. And today when we were down in Nottingham, the Tirtha, because Kripa Moy Prabhu is from here, and received his first books in the very, I think, somewhere near the square where we were. And when I heard that, I got enlivened to more vigorously distribute books in the hopes, although it's a long shot, by probably millions of years, to see if we get another Kripa Moya out of the milk ocean there. And yeah, go ahead. You can family atmosphere. That's all. Kripa Moya. One more time, though. And we met there many people, but two stood out in my mind. It was two young people who were in university. One of them was studying criminology, and the other was studying law. And one of them was named Zach, and I forget the other guy's name. Drew? Drew and Zach. And they were innocent, although not overwhelmingly enthusiastic about it. They were open. And when I saw them standing there with the sky in their background, I was thinking about Krishna's way of reaching out to everybody in this world, giving them an opportunity to be happy. And I felt joyful to be part of it there, to be one of the servants that gets to help extend Krishna's mercy, extend his heart to people. And the verse, although it seems slightly obscure, I find poetical and moving. And I'm going to read it to you. Does that sound good?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, 5 people said yes. Everybody else, cover your ears very tightly. This is, of all places, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, and it's 5th chapter, 6th verse. You don't necessarily have to put it up if it's troublesome, but I think you'll like hearing this. Speaking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he's manifesting the creation. He lies down on his own heart, spread in the form of the sky, and thus placing the whole creation in that space, he expands himself into many living entities who are manifested as different species of life. He does not have to endeavor for his maintenance because he is the master of all mystic powers and the proprietor of everything. Thus he is distinct from the living entities. And Prabhupada gives this short purport. The questions regarding creation, maintenance, and destruction, which are mentioned in many parts of the Srimad Bhagavatam, are in relation to different millenniums, kalpas, and therefore they are differently described by different authorities when questioned by different students. There is no difference regarding the creative principles and the Lord's control over them, yet there are some differences in the minute details because of different kalpas. The gigantic sky is the material body of the Lord, called the Virat Rupa, and all material creations are resting on the sky or the heart of the Lord. Therefore, beginning from the sky, the first material manifestation to the gross vision down to the earth, everything is called Brahman. Sarvam Kalavidam Brahma. There is nothing but the Lord, and He is one without a second. The living entities are the superior energies, whereas matter is the inferior energy. And the combination of these energies brings about the manifestation of this material world, which is the heart of the Lord. I found the description of the manifestation of the sky, the first material manifestation that comes to the gross vision, as the heart of the Lord extended. Since I read this verse recently, whenever I look out and see the sky, I think of how enveloping it is. We're standing under it apparently all the time, as it seems to be slightly curved to the eye, at least to mine. And there's a way in which Krishna, as described in the prayers by the personified Vedas, does his most important, or enacts his most important pastime in this world by giving an opportunity for all of the living entities in this material manifestation who have errantly entered within it to enjoy separately from the Lord. And in every conceivable way, he extends his heart to every living entity, because the material manifestation is Krishna. It's his energy, and the heart of Krishna is manifested as the sky. So, in the beginning of creation, there's a way in which Krishna's Leela is to extend himself. There's unlimited living entities, and they become embedded in the material world. We read this morning from Prayers Personified Vedas, Prabhupada's description of it in the Krishna book, in which he describes how every living being is Chaitanya. And that means, he says, that everyone has made a choice. He said stones and material elements don't make a choice, but living entities do. From moment to moment, they make choices because they're conscious. And therefore, he said, everyone is rightly placed. Krishna is fulfilling the desires of everyone in all parts of the creation. Sapari gachukram akayam abranam ashnaviram shudam apapavidam kaviramani shi paribu swayambur yatat yatyator tan vyaradasya svatibhya samabhyaha. The Upanishads describe Krishna as the all-accommodating. He's there, been fulfilling every living entity's desire since a time immemorial. And in the Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna mentions that when we become ensconced in the material world, we are overcome by three psychological stumbling blocks: raga, bhaya, and krodha. And the raga means that we mistakenly attach ourselves to the material energy. It seems like a good idea because it's a reflection of reality. And in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna mentions that the material world, narupam asyeha tato palabhyate nanto nachatir nachamprajishta. In this section of the Bhagavad-gītā, he talks about how the manifestation of the world is a gigantic banyan tree. We can't see where it ends or where it begins, but he describes it as a reflection of the spiritual world. So each living being is helplessly attached to the material world, not entirely helplessly, but by default, because there's no other option except for what we come out into in the material world. And when we see the variety of the material world, we engage with it. This is raga. We have this intimate connection with the material world, apparently, because we see it as desirable. And then he says, bhaya. There's a fearfulness that we develop as a psychological blockade to our freedom, which is that we become afraid of our personhood. There are lots of people who come to the conclusion, Prabhupada says in his description of this phenomena, psychological phenomena, which is that one experiences the material world again and again and feels inconvenienced by it. That sounds like a understatement, the inconvenience of the material world. It's actually described in the Srimad Bhagavatam that because of our experience in the material world and feeling forlorn and an emptiness because of separation from the Lord but having no other options, there's an ocean of tears here in the material world from all the living entities who are crying in separation. This is unbearable pain in the hearts of the living entities, who then come to an erroneous conclusion that the ultimate goal of life is to be nothing. And as Prabhupada describes, one who's ill and has a hard time swallowing or making any of the bodily functions, then may think that death is a better option. So there's a sense in which many people come to this feeling that I'd rather not exist. This is a sense of fear. And then krodha means that there's anger, because there's so many explanations of why people are suffering, and most of them are incomplete. And because of hearing incomplete solutions to these intractable problems, people become angry and develop cynicism towards any idea of a Supreme Personality of Godhead. It becomes ingrained in the whole society. And Krishna has the impetus to reach out to all of these living entities, and he does so through his devotees, to give everyone a chance to feel the heart of Krishna, to know that he's a person. When I was discussing recently with Kṛṣṇa Prabhu and some of my other beloved senior godbrothers and sisters, the ways in which when we preach, oftentimes there's a conundrum of how much to present to people about God's personality. If you've ever spoken somewhere where there's a new audience, or if you've written something and you're getting to the point and it comes to a juncture where you have to describe the Supreme, you might then equivocate. This was a case with Srila Vyasadeva, apparently, because Narada Muni in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavatam tells him that you didn't very clearly talk about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You've given many Puranas and many ideas about how to adjust yourself in this world, but you haven't given the straight information about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I was saying, well, in our writings and so forth, what to do about this. And Kṛṣṇa Prabhu said, we'll write a book called Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and put 54 pictures in it of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then have it distributed by the millions all over the world, which is obviously what Srila Prabhupada has done. And that's the desire of Krishna, that everyone gets an opportunity to come to know Krishna's heart. So, Krishna in the Bhagavad-gītā mentions that he's there within our hearts. This is amazing. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridaya Arjuna tishtiti brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudrani mayaya. That wherever we go, Krishna is right there with us. And what's more, he's providing intelligence for us whenever we want it, and also forgetfulness if we desire to forget him. So we have this opportunity in the human form of life, and everyone has this opportunity, but it requires the touch of Krishna's heart in our life. Oh, thank you. Do I have it? Yeah. Test it out. Speaking of the lay of the land, we have this number line in which the material world is negative numbers. Whatever we do, we're creating more debt, and we're getting ourselves into more trouble by our activities. You may look like you're getting to a bigger number, but it's actually negative. And then people come to this point of relief and saying, I'll take 0. But 0 is 0 after all. But we get the opportunity to understand the positive numbers when we come in contact with devotees, and devotees give us the Shastra. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sanatana Goswami that the living entity doesn't come out of material nature automatically. It's not swata. But it requires an intervention of knowledge. Maya mugda jiver nahi swata Krishna gyan jiver kripaya koila Krishna Veda Puran. He says that nobody comes out of ignorance automatically. But Krishna, Dvaipana Vyasadeva, has given the Shastra as a way that when one in the human form of life reads it, hears it, then it gives them this awakening. They can understand their actual position and come into the positive numbers. So we're in a universe that Krishna has created, and as the Sri Upanishad says, Tarejati tadnaijati tadure tadvantike tarantarasya sarvasya tarusa sarvasya bhayataha. That the Lord is far away, but he is very near as well. He is within everything, and yet he is outside of everything. And within the creation, if one can come to knowledge, one can see Krishna within everything. We see the sky and we can feel that Krishna is reaching out to us. He's, as we say, the sky's the limit. There's an unlimited possibility within this span of life that we have, because Krishna's made the creation especially to be responsive to us. Or rather, he's responding to us through his creation and also from within the heart, and he's giving us opportunities to align ourselves again with our spiritual nature. In the opening, Maharaj, when you talked about the title of this convention, what do I call it? Festival. Convention sounds rather stodgy. So rise. There's a statement by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that says that every living being can rise in due course of time. And in the Bhagavad-gītā, in one of his purports, Prabhupada refers to a verse in the Vedanta Sutra. So I followed that thread, and Srila Vyasadeva has written that every living being is certainly an agent for change and can rise in due course of time. Why? The logic. Because he says that all of the scriptures say that your duty is to improve yourself, and that the goal of life is for all human beings to come to perfect knowledge, which results in loving Krishna. Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktir dhoksaje haitu kiya pratiyata yayatma suprasidati. That's the ultimate goal for everyone. Someone may say, I'm too overwhelmed by the material world, or I don't see my way out. Even Devahuti says it to Kapila Devi in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, when she tells him that it seems like I am my body and mind, and that I've been so since time immemorial, and how will I ever come out of this situation? Well, Srila Vyasadeva says, don't worry, you can. Because who is the scripture talking to? Us. Otherwise, who's the audience for all these admonitions that you should take up the process, hearing and chanting, you should take to improving yourself? The Vedic project is to show everyone how to rise in due course of time. So he said if it wasn't possible, these statements wouldn't make any sense at all. So that's encouraging, don't you think? Yes. Say yes. Yes. The front row say yes, but everyone in the back is still doubtful. And so what we have is a universe that's full of possibilities. I hate to use this cliche again, but the sky's the limit. In the sense that one could achieve anything in this lifetime because Krishna is right there with us in the form of the sky, what to speak of in everyone's heart. And we can also notice that Krishna is responsive. This is an exciting discovery that everyone's waiting for, and it's part of the conundrum mentioned by Krishna in the Bhagavad-gītā of Ragabhaya Krodha, that, there's nobody there. In fact, there are people who write whole books about how nobody's there. In fact, I was talking to a professor recently, and we were discussing meditation, because he asked me if I'd give him a guided meditation. And then when we were discussing, he says that he told me that he does meditation, but the ultimate goal of it was to realize that he didn't exist, or that he was nothing. I mean, you read about these things, but when you actually hear it from somebody... And I was thinking, how would one do that? So, the fact that Krishna is responsive means that, as he says in the Bhagavad-gītā, well, it doesn't mean that, but Krishna says, I'm your best friend, and I am responsive to everything that you do. And so, when we're beginning in the process of reaching out to Krishna and feeling his heart, we can be very attentive to the ways in which Krishna is responsive. For instance, Krishna mentions that he's there, sarvasya chaham hridisani vishto, mataksmitir gana mapoham cha. He's there giving intelligence from within the heart, and Prabhupada describes that in the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam to be the way a father might speak to a son and give good advice. And he said Prabhupada mentions that you can notice this, that Krishna is giving direction from within the heart. And also, everything Krishna says that we do as a gesture towards him, he responds. He responds to. Ye yata mam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama manavartante. It's a close-knit group, so you could finish my sentences for me. Try it again. Ye yata mam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama manavartante. Amazing statement Krishna makes that however you reach out to me, however you approach me, I will respond. A while back, there was this disaster in Malaysia when a flight took off, or perhaps it was in another country and it was headed for Malaysia, but it got lost. And they never found it. It had gone off course somehow, and there's a black box. Have you heard of the black box? There's a pulse, an electronic pulse that it gives, and apparently you'll be able to find the plane if it's gone off course. And the black box wasn't working, so it went off course and nobody could find it. I heard about that, I read about it, and for some reason it vexed me. It was really, I was thinking about the people on that plane who had gone off course, they didn't know where they were, and even if they had made a landing somewhere, nobody could find them anyway. And one day when I was chanting my japa, I was thinking about those people being lost like that. And then I started thinking, I'm kind of like that. And then I was thinking that the sound I was making, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's like that little pulse from the black box that here I am, I'm here. I'm totally lost, but please respond. And we want response. If you've ever been in a situation when you're close to somebody, if you've gotten in an argument, and then somebody stops talking to you. Has anybody ever had that happen? Nobody wants to admit it. A couple of people grumbled or something. Or I've had a situation where going out into public distributing books, I was once in San Francisco on the street, and I was meeting people as they'd walk by, and one person was walking by, and I greeted him, and he pretended that I wasn't there. And it was an existential strain. It actually hurt. It hurt. I looked down to see if I was still there. And I felt hurt. And when people don't respond, it's difficult. It creates an energy, a dark energy. And that's the material world. Krishna's reaching out. He's enveloped us in his own heart, this which is the sky. He gives opportunities in every way possible to call us to just show some devotion to him or make a gesture towards him. And then people make a philosophy that says, well, I'm not even a person, and there is no God. And that's why the material world's so dark, and why it's so hurtful, the whole material energy. Have you ever walked on the street, and you're walking by a person, you're going one way, they're going the other on the same sidewalk? And have you ever had a conundrum of whether to look up and make eye contact? It's not a rhetorical question, I'm asking if you've ever done it. It's happened, right? Or in an elevator. Let's say you get in an elevator, there's only two people in there, one of them's you. And then you're wondering, should I look up or not look up? And so that's the material world with God, with Krishna. Krishna's right there. He's far away and he's near as well. He's within the heart and he's enveloped us in the sky. He's also available to us just by calling out to him just one time. Krishna. What do you think? Put your hands up and say Krishna. Krishna! All right. Do it like there's a forest fire. 1, 2, 3. Krishna! As Srimad Bhagavatam says, Apana samsritim goram yanama vibhishogrinan tata sadyo vimucheta yabhipeti swayam bhayam. If you're ever afraid, Bhagavatam says, just say Krishna. And he's right there. So this creation is a heartfelt creation. Everything here is arranged to bring us closer to Krishna. He's reaching out to us at every moment. And he's there within our heart. Gajendra mentions when he offered prayers to Krishna after he got a crocodile on his leg. you've ever had that happen, you know what it feels like. He called out even before he knew who the stream was. And the demigods heard his voice and they said, that's not for us. And the Lord heard it and he came down and he rescued Gajendra. And in his prayers, Gajendra said, you're never lazy about answering my prayers. You're always there attentive. So, if we turn towards Krishna, he'll immediately respond to us in such a way that we'll feel his presence. And that's Krishna reaching out with his heart. One of the ways is through service. Atashri Krishna namadi nabhaved grayam indriye sivamukhi hijivado swayameva spratyada. The first service is to use the tongue and chant Hare Krishna. As today, when we are distributing books in the world-famous Nottingham, we'd ask people to chant the mantra afterwards. And when they repeat the mantra, some of them say, I know it, and they say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. They do part of it, and then some of them, they'd look at the card and they could do the whole thing. And I was just remembering how Krishna is so available to everyone through his name. He's directly there. And even one gesture that one makes towards Krishna, as he says in the Bhagavad-gītā, Neha bhakramanashosti pratyavayona vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. That he never forgets that. When it comes to his devotees, he's extremely attentive to them. A verse in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā, in the 9th chapter verse Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna says, Samoham sarvabhuteshu nami dveshos dinapriya ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. That he's giving everyone an equal chance, and he remains neutral until somebody turns his or her attention towards him. But then he says, I'll embrace them. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya, they're in me and I'm in them. Intimate. As we're driving here today, we're reading the story of Sudama. When he was requested by his wife to go meet Krishna. He's your old friend from school, and just see what might happen. Because they're so poor. And she was struggling to serve Sudama because they didn't have any money. They didn't have any means at all. And when he finally agreed to go, he went reluctantly, but he went thinking, I should see my old friend. And he knew he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead as well. He arranged through a neighbor to get some very simple offering, just a little rice. So when he made his way to Dwarka and he met with Krishna, Krishna was so welcoming to him that he invited him in the home. He greeted them with all respect, bowed down, washed his feet, fed him, and then they talked about the ways in which they had been in Gurukul together. And before Sudama was to leave, Krishna said, I think you brought something for me. He was so reluctant to give the gift that he had brought. He felt embarrassed by it. It was paltry. It was some rice that was not even in good condition. But it's all he had. And he kept it in a little pouch. And he was thinking, even if he demands it, I'm not going to give it to him. So Krishna, smiling, grabbed it. And then he took some of the rice and he ate a palmful. And he was about to take another when Rukmini, who is the goddess of fortune herself, grabbed his hand and said, "No, don't take another. Because if you do, I'll be so obligated, I won't even be able to fulfill my obligation for responding to him for that gift." Meanwhile, Sudama, slightly embarrassed by the interaction, departed for his home. And on the way, he felt grateful that Krishna didn't give him anything. And he thought, he knows not to give me anything, because I would become puffed up and I wouldn't be able to utilize it properly. And I'd forget Krishna. He's so kind to me, he thought, to not give me anything. And when he reached his home, he saw, instead of a ramshackle cottage, he saw that it was an opulent palace. It was better than the kingdom of heaven. Accompanied by servants, and then his wife came out. Sudama stayed the same so she could recognize him, because everyone had transformed into more opulent versions. And she approached him and she offered her obeisances. And Sudama lived there, using everything sparingly, but all in the service of the Lord. So what's notable in this story to me, two things. One is that Sudama was attached to renunciation, and Krishna was so kind to take away his renunciation. And what actually changed the heart of Sudama was that he noted that Krishna felt so obligated to him, and Krishna expressed that he couldn't sufficiently reciprocate with him for the gift he had given. After all, he barely gave it. He hid it, and Krishna had to take it away. But then Krishna felt that this gift is so great, all I'm giving him is all the wealth of the universe, because that's all I have, and that's not enough. That's not even close to enough. And when Sudama sensed that, that's when his heart changed. And he was no longer attached to renunciation. It was the last vestige of his attachment in this world. And for the pure devotees, those who are sincere, anyone who's sincere and wants to come to this position of only wanting Krishna and only wanting to have a heart-to-heart relationship with Krishna, then Krishna makes all the arrangements so that the devotee can completely surrender. And I heard Prabhupada saying something about this the other morning when I was listening to one of his lectures. And he said that I never wanted to be a sannyasi. And I did not want to go out and do this, but Krishna forced me. And he said, he quoted, Yasyaham anagrinnami harishe tad dhanam shanai, Krishna's own words in the Bhagavatam, where he says, when I favor a devotee, I take away all his opulence. And in the story of Sudama, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions how the clouds receive worship from the farmers. And they feel so insufficient to reciprocate this kind of worship that the farmers give to the clouds, because the clouds are supplying life-giving water, that they only rain at night. Because they're embarrassed to rain in the day. This is his poetical rendition of what Krishna felt like when he was reciprocating with Sudama. So, Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Brajema, the ultimate statement of Uttama and Uddhava, in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, was who would surrender to anybody else? After all, nobody can reciprocate in this world like Krishna can reciprocate. And he gives his heart completely to the devotees, even when they give the slightest indication that they would like to do something for him. And when devotees realize this, then they've realized the great secret of life. Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā so plainly, Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam. We have to finish each other's sentences. I'll try it again. All right. Yeah, it's the only sense of peace one has is when one comes to this conclusion that everything for Krishna, Bhoktaram yagatapasam, and sarvaloka maheshwaram, and Krishna owns everything. I have no property in this world. Everything's paraphernalia to be used in service of the Lord. And Suridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is my best friend. So he's full of heart. He's heartful. Everything he does for us is heartful. In fact, Brahma comments when he says Tattenu kampam susamikshamana bhujana evatma kutam vipakam. The devotee becomes so sensitive to Krishna's reciprocation that he feels that even in apparent reversals in this world, that things may seem like they're not going our way according to our plan, and they see that that's Krishna's a great mercy upon me. He's reciprocating, bringing me closer to him. And if one can live that way, then Sadaya Bhak, one inherits the kingdom of God. So this is the great project of life, is to feel Krishna's heart and connect heart to heart with Krishna. There are various ways that Krishna extends his heart to everybody through Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. I received Back to Godhead magazine many years ago when I was sitting in my room in suburban Lafayette, California, minding my own beeswax. And there was a knock at my door, and my friend Richie Corsa gave me a Back to Godhead magazine. And I became enamored of that and read it over and over again, and it led me to Hare Krishna. And I always think back to who thought that up and who deliberately made sure that a magazine made it to Lafayette Valley Estates in an obscure place in California. It was Srila Prabhupada. He's manifestation of this mercy of Krishna, that he wants to envelop us with his heart. He has enveloped us with his heart. I mean, that's the sky. Next time you look at the sky, I hope you look at it differently, because if you remember, he's really hugging us. He's trying to reach out to us in every possible way he can. And then he sends the great devotees who come to us in very practical ways and give us a hand. And then we have the sadhus, who are hopefully plentiful wherever we go. And just by association with devotees, we're nurtured. And then, of course, there's the Shastra, which is, as Prabhupada was speaking the other morning in a lecture I was listening to, he was saying it's a special Shakti of the Lord, the Shastra, because Krishna can come to us and speak to us privately, his own voice, in fact, in the Bhagavad-gītā. It's directly speaking through the Shastra. That's miraculous. And if anybody sits with the Bhagavad-gītā and just listens and reads, one will feel that Krishna is speaking directly to me. And this is his heartfelt way of extending himself to us through the words of the Bhagavad-gītā, isn't it? Say yes. Yes. Thank you. So our sincerity is infallible. Krishna's love is inexorable. He's extending to us in every possible way at all times and places and circumstances. We need only remember that Krishna's heart is available to us. He's extending himself to us in many different ways. And if we try our best to reciprocate, as Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yomi Bhaktya Prayachati Taraham Bhakti Paritamrashnami Paritatmanaha. He says over and over again, just offer me something with love. When I first got a Bhagavad-gītā, after I got my magazine, I read that verse, and I was walking to school at Del Valle High School, walking up the hill to go to my third year in high school, and I had an apple in my bag for lunch. So I thought, I'm going to try this. And halfway up the hill, I took the apple out, and I held it up to the sky. And the only mantra I knew at that time was Om. So I said, Om, and I was offering it like that on the hillside. And I felt a direct reciprocation with Krishna. That, yes, I'll accept that from you. And Prabhupada was the same way. Devotees who first came to meet Prabhupada would bring in things like feathers, seashells in San Francisco. And Prabhupada accepted them. He accepted a roll of toilet paper from somebody who came off the street in New York and made a little bit of a ruckus, although he had a good intention. But he barged in during the class with his shoes on. But he brought Prabhupada some toilet paper that he didn't use, but he accepted it, and he put it in the restroom. So this is it's an exciting opportunity that anyone who wants to feel Krishna's heart can just take a little drop of sincerity, or find it within. Try to search for it. If you can find one molecule of sincerity in your heart, that Krishna, I only want you, and I just want your heart, I want to give my heart to you, then he will reciprocate. And it's not a mechanical process, it's a heartfelt process, it's heart to heart. Those are a few preliminary thoughts, and I was just wondering if you would like to ask a question or make a comment to extend the conversation. Would you? No, Vaisesika. Just sit there and don't say anything more. And we'll sit there and we won't say anything. What do you think? What sparked you in any way? What association did you have with anything I said so far? Yes, you want to say? No? Oh yeah, keep it short. We'll try.
I will try my best. 4 years ago, when you was deep because I was in a collision, I was just thinking, when you sent a reply back to Bhagavad-gītā, because and it's not about me, by the way, because there would be kind of obstacles, but I could push the police by. So you sent your own video to Bhagavad-gītā once you knew that I had come out of still in hospital, but I'd come out of coma. Intensive care. I've heard this so many times from many people. I'm from local, by the way, and that's where the collision happened when I got pushed up the police by.
Can you all hear okay? You can hear. Okay, please continue.
I've been practicing, I joined the police twice as a police duty support officer, basically so in Bhagavad Gita, the consciousness connection was always there as a child. Whether it's in the church, whether it came to Watford since I was a child, or in Māma. What are your thoughts when someone's recovering from a traumatic brain injury and many people said, for example, I don't recognise them in town, I've not ignored them, I just don't recognise them. And I used to say, it takes me 2 minutes, how do I know you? Do I know you through my PCSO job, or do I know you because you just know me? And then within 10 seconds, like they start telling me, I actually realise and recognise who they are. What are your thoughts about when somebody says, Rita, it is a miracle you are back, when everybody thought I was going to part?
It's a miracle that you're what?
I'm back.
That you're back.
Because I was in Washington.
It's a miracle. Go.
She was quite surprised I go to the church, for example. She didn't think, because I'm born in a really Bengali family, that it's just me, even though she's new to chanting, new to consciousness. My answer to that is I always went to the church as a child. I always, in my job, if I was free, would go and speak to the victim or help with victims. So yeah, basically what I thought about the fact that I'm here today, in many, many years into a retreat, and I think when I spoke to you last year, I said, I actually forgot who you were.
Well, first, I admire your tenacity, because it's very difficult to lose that sense of who people are around you and to be able to interact. And you've been tenacious in doing that. And you've been going on with your sadhana and doing everything possible to make yourself, make your body whole again so that you can interact in ways that you were before. And secondly, it's the great struggle here in this world, because we're matter and spirit mixed together. And the very subtle soul has quite a lot of frustration with the material body. That's another observation. We want to do so much. In fact, we want to do more service. We want to remember more. We want to remember Krishna more. And oftentimes we feel we're struggling against the body and the mind. It's a hard struggle. And it's miraculous also that Krishna has given us a body that can heal itself. Of course, we take therapies and so forth, but we can improve. We can get better on all levels. So I admire the way you're here sitting at this function and taking advantage of it, and that's what you've been doing for years now, and just sticking with it. And obviously you're improving. So we can take heart from that's no matter what, we should continue. And take the lesson as we go along that anything we can improve, and we can improve by Krishna's mercy if we go on with the process. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay.
Hare Krishna. So you spoke about heart-to-heart interactions, giving our hearts to Krishna, giving our hearts to devotees also. And with that being said, I wanted to ask, what does that mean? How can we do that in the deepest way? And especially now that we're here on a retreat, how could we make sure that our association and the connections we build here, can be there in the deepest way?
Well, there's going to be a talk by Guru Chandra Padma Mataji and Nirakula on the 6 loving exchanges, and they'll be speaking tomorrow.
Yes.
What time? We advertise your class. No, don't do it. It's specifically about loving exchanges, so I'm not going to go into detail about that, but that is really to take advantage of devotee association, is to, when I go into devotee association, I warn myself to try to listen as much as possible. It doesn't always work, but I try to listen and ask questions to devotees and observe them. And just by being around devotees who are serious and who are eager to make advancement in devotional service, I'm always amazed at how well they're doing and how much they have to offer. And I always feel improved. It's one of the reasons we travel. When we travel and we meet other devotees that are doing things that are amazing, then we feel inspired by it also. And of course, if you inquire from advanced devotees and give relevant questions, and that can be, you get an idea or some encouragement that can last your whole life from doing that. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, please.
Thank you so much for this talk. There were so many powerful points, and one which really hit me is you said when we reach out and somebody doesn't respond, it creates a dark energy. And then you said the whole material world is a dark place because Krishna is reaching out to us and we don't respond. That really hit me. That was such a thank you for sharing that. And I guess I would just ask you if there were 2 or 3 things we could do to just be more personal with Krishna on a day-to-day basis, what would you tell us?
Well, one is to express gratitude. One of my godbrothers told me while we were traveling, and this is an example of getting something valuable from from association. He said every morning when he wakes up, as soon as he swings out of bed and puts his feet on the floor, of course you're a brahmachari, I don't know how you're going to do that, but before he stands up, he says, "Thank you, Srila Prabhupada." And I said, I'm going to start doing that too. So I started doing that upon getting up, and then I started saying, "Thank you, Krishna." And I'd say it a few times until I was chanting Hare Krishna. I'd say, "Thank you, Krishna, thank you, Krishna, thank you, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram." And then when I'm chanting my japa, I'm thinking, "Thank you, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare." Sorry, that's not a new mantra, and don't tell Jai, wait tomorrow, Jai said that, but I'm just saying that this is to just express our gratitude to Krishna. That's something. And the other is, don't underestimate the power of reading Bhagavad-gītā every day. It can be that I think, oh yeah, Bhagavad-gītā, I've read that. I distribute Bhagavad-gītā. I mean, meet people on the street. In fact, I don't hand Bhagavad-gītās to Indians because they're going to say, I already know Bhagavad-gītā. My mother read Bhagavad-gītā, and my grandmother memorized Bhagavad-gītā. So as everybody knows, who's seen me distribute on the street, I withhold and I say, you already know this. This is not for you. And your mother read Bhagavad-gītā, and your grandmother memorized Bhagavad-gītā, and they're going, what do I say now? There's more to it. It's not like I don't give them a Bhagavad-gītā, but that's it. But the fact is, millions of people know about Bhagavad-gītā, but who actually communes with Krishna through Bhagavad-gītā? I'm not saying that I have such intimacy, but it is Krishna's direct words. There's nothing like Bhagavad-gītā in this whole world. It's Krishna speaking directly to us. As Prabhupada said, it's not just Arjuna. And as Lord Caitanya said, with one arrow, that is the speaking of the Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna saved the whole world. What kind of book is that? And as I'm not reading it. What kind of book is that I'm not reading? And so that's another one, to really try to read Bhagavad-gītā as if, and listen for his voice, that he's speaking to me when I read Bhagavad. When he says Māma, he's actually there on the page. And the third thing is to be active in offering the teachings of Bhagavad-gītā to people in a very accommodating and gentle way, because when we see how it affects them, then we realize again and again its potency. Those are a few thoughts. Hare Krishna. Okay, it's only for the front row, I guess. Divinam Prabhu.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hearing the story of the Sadhava made me think that he had so many wonderful qualities, but yet seemingly, although it seems that he wasn't aware, but still there was some attachment he had for his renunciation. So I was just contemplating on it that me as a conditioned soul has so many anomalies, so many attachments. What hope is there for like somebody like us or myself that Sudama's level seems to be very high because he had so much love for Krishna. He had, he wanted to just go see his friend and he was very spontaneous. But, I wonder whether you have some words on what hope is there for like somebody like us who's quite far, so far like somebody like Sudama.
Great hope. You're doing fantastic service. Right? I mean, come on. You live in your house. You can't hide from us. You know what's going on here. Yeah, your whole family is absorbed in Krishna consciousness. You have Krishna in your house. You worship him every day. You're always thinking. I mean, one of the things Prabhupada talks about advanced devotional service is always thinking about how to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. So, you and Verdarika and Sridham and Sachi, you're a transcendental unit for sure. And you go through life and through all the different phases, there are different eras in our lives. If you can just put together one whole lifetime through all the different eras, don't worry about how some of them are up or some of them are a little bit down or you seem beleaguered because you got so many obligations. Just like Bhakti Rita was demonstrating, just stay the course and go through all those different eras in your life. And the great miracles happen. Think about, how can you think about it? How can you have great hope? That was your question. Just think about how generous Krishna is with those who don't even like him. There's lots of people who don't even like him. Krishna says, okay, they could come too. I mean, that's why I quoted Putana, Aho Bhakiyam Stana Kalakutam Chikamsaya Payat Apyasadvi. She came to kill Krishna, pretended she was a nurse, and then Krishna said, yeah, okay. She offered some service apparently, so I'll accept her. And so Narada Muni, little child, single parent family, mother died. He took off into the great unknown of the world and just tried to use what he had learned from the sadhus who stayed at his house 2 seasons. Even past the rainy season, they stayed because they thought he had so much potential. And then he sat in a forest, meditated. Krishna appeared to him. And then Krishna disappeared or withdrew his obvious presence. And then he tried to get it back mechanically, did Narada as a child. And then Krishna spoke to him and he said, you're a ku yogi. Bad yogi. And he said that now you have to put together a whole lifetime of devotion to me. The hope, read the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā, Attaining the Supreme. The whole chapter is about Krishna saying, don't worry. Just do devotional service, I'll take care of it. Because by contrast, he talks about everybody else who's trying to triangulate to get out of the material world at the right time. But they're not really that interested in Krishna. And for the devotee, he says, oh, you don't even have to worry about it. Just go on with your service. I'll take care of you. There's no issue. So just string together a lifetime where you're fully in service, one era after another, even if you think you're the worst at it of anybody. And you think, I can't concentrate my mind very well in my japa. I can't cook. Practically, people hate my cooking. What else? What other woes might we have? My dhoti doesn't fit right. I don't know how to wear a sari. Tilak's always crooked. I have envy in my heart. Yeah, just keep going. Because Krishna's there and we don't know. Prabhupada writes in the light of the Bhagavata that this lifetime is a chaturmasya-like existence. He gives the example of sadhus who stop during chaturmasya and they just sit in one place and do austerities. They stay in one room practically. You know how to do that? You eat off the floor. You just eat a little kit, not even kitri, it's havishan. It's got no spice. You put your hands behind your back and you eat off the floor once a day, all you can eat while you're down there. And then you let your fingernails grow in your hair. Chaturmasya, you know. So then when they get out, he says, after the chaturmasya is over, they don't know how much advancement they've made from their austerities till they leave the room that they were in. And then Prabhupada said, we're in a chaturmasya-like existence in this human form of life. You may not realize all you've done until you leave. I thought, devotional service is so potent, you chant Hare Krishna one time. Try it. Hare Krishna. Yeah, see, you can't even stop. Just sit, chant Hare Krishna. You put a lifetime together of chanting Hare Krishna. Krishna says one time. One time, Ram says, Sakradeva Prapanoyas. If you one time say, I surrender you, I accept you, you chant one Hare Krishna, you're chanting every day, all day long, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, right? Just to finish your rounds. So, what's that? That's going to do a little damage. I hate to break it to you, but it's the way it is. It's almost like you take some medicine and you think, that didn't do anything, I'll take some more. And then next thing you know, it's like, I think I took too much. So, you're in a really good position. You're perfectly lined up. So just keep going. Always be hopeful. Let's chant a little because I have till 6:30. And since we're just warming up here tonight, and Maharaj said, the real thing happens in the hallways. And he told everybody to accost older devotees. So I need to save my energy. Would you like to sing a little? Yes. Like to dance? But not that much, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Really? Okay, let's see. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda, Shri Shri Gornitai, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshan, Man Hanuman, Shri Shri Radha Landanishwara. Anybody else? Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ji, Ji Giriraj Maharaj. If you so desire, please empower us at our Rise Retreat that we may open our hearts to Krishna, who's reaching to us and inviting us to come back to the spiritual world. May we please develop a deep yearning to always hear and chant about Krishna and to share what we've gained from the great acharyas and specifically Srila Prabhupada with the whole world. Thank you for considering our request. And let Yadabar Prabhu's movie become famous everywhere. And be seen by everybody in every language of the world. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpadurusha kripa sindhave vacha patitanam bhavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nanda Gauri Vaishnavini ki jai.
His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu Ki! Vaisesika Prabhu Ki! Isn't that wonderful? I'm always just going to warm up. So this is just, we're just getting into the groove here. And nice to see everyone out in the blocks fast. Very, very beautiful presentation by Vaisesika Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Words not just from the Shastra, but words from someone who is living, breathing, and every day sharing those words with creativity, with compassion. Vaisesika Prabhu, you're our hero.
Hare Krishna.